Hey everyone, how's it going? Elliot here from the Retro Future. Today we're going to be taking a look at a very rare limited edition Pokemon Center Game Boy Advance. This thing, I believe, was only available to purchase in the Japanese Pokemon Center. On the screen lens, it features a little icon of Pikachu, and I think that's Charizard. No, I think that's Pichu. The screen lens is actually in really good condition, which is fantastic because that's one of obviously the really unique features on this. The screen underneath is obviously severely burnt. One of the cool things might be quite hard to capture on camera is the color of this shell. It's kind of like a pearl essence blue. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see that, but it's very unique. And when you look at it in certain lights, it's kind of like it's rainbow. Unfortunately, it's missing the battery cover. That's why there's a lot of gunk on here from sellotape. Presumably, the latch on the battery cover broke off. But you know, any old battery cover will fit in there. Probably a silver one is going to look the closest, or a white one or something. But yeah, I can just use the Game Boy Advance rechargeable one, which will look kind of authentic because that's what would have been swapped out in the past. But anyway, it's very bad condition. It's got a lot of corrosion in the battery terminals, which is a little bit worrying. That means the inside might be completely toast. But we need to give it a good clean. You know, we need to get that Pokemon sticker out again. On the back of it, it says that it was 300 yen or 324 yen, apparently with tax. But besides that, you know, it isn't in that bad condition. So hopefully we can get it nice and clean. I paid £29 for this, which is a fairly reasonable price. I've seen these go for up to a couple £100 in good condition. And this one, I think, is in good condition. It just needs to be cleaned up and repaired. But yeah, without any further ado, let's roll the intro and let's get into it. So the first thing we are going to do is completely strip it down and disassemble it. Now, I haven't done a Game Boy Advance in a while, so I'm quite excited. So before we take it apart, let's quickly see if it is actually getting any power at all. I highly doubt it. No, look at that. It's not getting any power at all. There's nothing coming out of that LED indicator. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tri-ring screws, and then there's a little Phillips screw just under here. These all look quite oxidized, so I think it might be worth putting these screws in some isopropyl alcohol and giving them a little clean, because yeah, that, you know, a nice clean set of screws really finishes the device off. You can kind of see the tip of it there is all grey and weird. Should be okay to clean that. This is a well-used but very looked-after Game Boy. You can tell it's well-used because it's just jam-packed with crud and dirt. Take a look at down this seam, for example. But then you look at the screen lens, which is obviously in really good condition, which means that this person clearly appreciated this Game Boy a lot, which is really cool to think. And now we should just be able to remove the back. Okay. So that's a lot of corrosion. That is an absolute, yeah, that's a lot of corrosion. You can hopefully see all of the corrosion there. It's obviously coming from the back of this battery terminal, and it kind of spans out all over this area, which is all to do with the power side of the Game Boy. So yeah, it's not looking too hopeful, but if we flip the motherboard over and it's not too bad on the other side, then there is a good chance that I can fix that. So let's take the motherboard out. There's 3 Phillips screws. And whilst we're here as well, let's remove the cartridge shield as well. Let's unhook the ribbon cable. And that will allow us now to pull the whole motherboard out. Perfect. Okay. Let's set that to the side, and this is the moment of truth. Let's remove the buttons. There's a lot of dirt and grime under them, and look at this. That's not good. Could be cleaned up though. And then the D-pad as well, very grotty. I'm going to clean it all with a toothbrush because it's very dirty. And you can see over here as well, there's loads of dust. Don't know if you'll be able to see that. In fact, that's sticky. That's not nice. But I'm going to get some isopropyl alcohol and a toothbrush and scrub it all. So it's mainly this area here which has the corrosion, which is obviously because it's where the battery has leaked. It's going to be quite difficult to tell the extent of the damage without cleaning it all off with some isopropyl alcohol. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm just going to be using it on a toothbrush and scrubbing it away. So I've cleaned off all of the corrosion that I can see. The only thing I definitely need to do is replace this battery contact here. Let's remove the rest of the buttons and stuff from this shell. Yeah, it's all pretty grim, but we're going to need to give it a nice clean anyway. So all of the buttons we can set to the side to go in the sink. Taking a look at the actual cartridge shield, it kind of looks like something might have leaked inside it. Not sure if you can see that, but one of the screws is actually rusty. Yeah, this one here. So it does look like this thing has actually maybe seen a little bit of water damage. But let's remove the final little bits. Don't forget the light tube. Be really careful not to lose that. And obviously the action buttons. And then we've also got the little side piece, which is pretty grotty. So to get the screen out, I'm very gently going to just twist the shell. And we can hear some popping sounds. That's the adhesive just lifting up. And once it's lifted up far enough in the corner, you can get your finger under there and then twist in the opposite direction and pull it off. And there we go. There is the screen. We can take off the adhesive. Be careful not to break that because we'll set that back in at the very end. So the screen we might actually be able to repair. That's just the polarizing filter that's done that. But let's worry about that a little bit later on. I kind of just want to get everything in the sink which needs a good clean so that we can soak it in there. And I also want to use this screen just to see if anything is now happening with this Game Boy. Interestingly, the ribbon cable on the screen actually has a little bit of corrosion on it. So let's clean that. Okay, here we go. So there might not be anything that's going to happen yet because I'm fairly certain that... Come on, there we go. Okay, so this might not work. I'm fairly certain because this contact is so corroded that it's not even going to get power through there. But we can try. Okay, let's go ahead and switch it on. Still nothing yet. I think what we should do is chuck all of the plastic parts in the sink. I'm going to go and find another motherboard that has more problems that we can then take the battery contact off. I think I need to reflow the solder definitely in the power switch because it was quite heavily corroded. So I found another motherboard. Unfortunately, we can't just swap them over because they're actually different pinouts for the screen. But I know that if I did that, everyone would be upset if I don't try and fix this thing anyway. So I'm going to remove the battery contact from here and swap it over onto this board. And also I'm going to go over all of the items on the board, the surface mount components, because a lot of them look fairly corroded. So let's go ahead and do this. And just like that, we are done. I'm really happy with how it's turned out. I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. It turns out that a clear battery cover actually looks pretty good. In fact, I think this is one of those clear glacier battery covers, or whichever, you know, the purpley clear sort of milky one, and that doesn't look too bad at all. I'm alright with that. Obviously finding a replacement battery cover for this is going to be near enough impossible, but after removing all of the dirt, you can begin to see that actually some of it's just a little bit scratched up, and it's not in the best condition. It's not really until you remove all the dirt that you can see that. I did try and polish the screen, and I think I've removed most of the big scratches and stuff like that, but I think it's never really going to be absolutely perfect with the materials that I have. So I fixed the screen. As for the motherboard, I had to find another faulty motherboard that I had, and I didn't film this. I don't know why I didn't film this, but I replaced the volume wheel. The volume wheel isn't perfectly aligned. I'm not sure you're going to be able to see that. It's kind of hitting the bottom of the shell. In fact, wow, I've not even tested that, and that's not moving at all. I'm going to have to loosen that up. There you go. Oh, you can kind of hear it. That's not fantastic. But the other thing I had to do as well was replace the speaker, because the speaker wasn't on it. So with these Game Boys, you know, the most valuable part is the shell and the screen lens, obviously. So it's not a massive deal that it's not got the correct motherboard in there. The sticker as well, I'm not used to this sort of sticker, so I think that might have been slightly affected by leaving it in the water for half an hour to remove all the crud. But it is still intact, and we've cleaned off the other residue from it, although it may have looked like that from beforehand, I don't know. We've removed the sticker here as well, and all of the dirt and grime. Overall, I think it looks stunning. Let me show you it turning on. It does look fantastic. Hopefully you can see the sort of blue colour that it has to it, and every now and again there's a little bit of purple on it as well. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see that, but it is a fantastic colour. Can you see that there at all? I kind of don't think you're going to be able to, but it's a really, really unique, interesting colour. Okay, so let's try a little bit of Mario Kart. I managed to remove all of the sticker residue on the bottom and stuff. Excuse the lighting. I'm not going to be installing an IPS screen in this. I'll keep it original. Oops. See, it works perfectly. Ah, oh no. It's so hard to see the viewfinder. I've got an itch. Ah! Oh no! Well, at least you got to see it working. Yeah, anyway, you get the idea. It works absolutely fine, although it's very difficult to see the screen all the way up there. But look, I hope you guys have all enjoyed this video. Please don't hate me for replacing the motherboard. I tried my hardest to fix the other one, and I just could not do it. I will be tackling it, though, on the second channel. Hopefully, we can get it fixed, and maybe I'll live stream it. We'll see. Thank you all very much for watching. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and I will catch you all in the next video. Goodbye.